Case file: The Dust Walkers. Observer: 1598966920. Location: the lower depths of the ruins of the shifting sands. Subject: new target, Arthur. Day 2, the shift. The roster changes faster than a brothel's morning shift. Helen is gone, lost to the dark. In her place, a new face emerged from the shadows. A Qatari, catfolk, calls himself Arthur. He doesn't carry a heavy blade or a staff. He carries his hands low, loose, and wrapped. He looks like he could punch a hole through a brick wall and land on his feet before the dust settles. Note: Target Delta, Arthur, is a brawler, close quarter specialist, dangerous in tight spaces. Day 2, the Archive of Regret. They moved into a chamber that smelled of dry rot and old paper. A library of sorts, guarded by a spirit caught in a time loop. The ghost was frantic, a translucent librarian paralyzed by indecision, trying to save one text before a calamity that happened centuries ago wiped him out. Most people would try to understand the history. Trixie, she just wanted the one that sounded the least lame. She pointed, the spirit complied, and the loop broke. They didn't get wisdom, they got a recipe, a schematic for a protection charm. I saw them comparing notes, the useless metal they forged earlier. It fits the specs. They're building something. Whether it protects them or blows them up remains to be seen. Day 2, the drop. They found a service lift, a rusted cage dangling over an abyss. It was dead, the mechanism seized by age. I watched them work on it. For a group of misfits, murderers, and soul eaters, they moved with surprising synergy. Stellar heaved, Arthur tinkered, Trixie wired. It wasn't magic, it was sweat and grease. The power of friendship is a nausea-inducing concept, but down here, coordination keeps you breathing. The gears shrieked and the cage descended. I took the stairs, silent, treacherous, and wet. Day 2, the collapse. They hit the bottom and the dungeon hit back. The walls groaned, a sound like the earth cracking a rib. Above them, the ceiling split. It wasn't just a few rocks. It was a tidal wave of masonry, support beams, and crushed stone. A tsunami of debris hurtling toward them. They ran. It was impressive, I'll admit. They scrambled through what looked like an ancient residential district, buried houses, narrow alleys. They went high, vaulting over rooftops and diving through windows. Arthur moved like liquid shadow. Stellar bulldozed through obstacles. They crashed into an old townhouse, slamming the barricade shut just as the dust cloud swallowed the street. Silence fell, heavy and choking. Day 2, the townhouse. Inside, they caught their breath. They tossed the room, looters to the core. They found coin, trinkets, and a bottle of something that looked expensive. A special vintage, aged in the dark. They drank. They laughed. They have a strange way of processing near-death experiences. Day 2, the street of manic dancers. They didn't stay put. They pushed out the back, onto a street that the collapse had missed. It wasn't empty. Down the road, flickering in the light of a bonfire, figures were moving, dancing, chanting. It wasn't a celebration. It was a spasm. They jerked and twisted in rhythm to a song I couldn't hear. A smart operator would sneak past. A smart operator would stick to the shadows. Trixie yelled, "Hello." The chanting stopped. The figures froze. Slowly, methodically, they turned. Their faces were wrong. Slack-jawed, eyes rolled back, skin pale as maggots. They shrieked, a sound that scraped the inside of your skull. Then their bodies broke. limbs twisted backward, spines arching at impossible angles. They dropped to all fours, scuttling like spiders made of human meat. They surged toward the party, moving faster than anything human should. The fight was ugly. Claws against steel, teeth against magic. The party put them down, but it wasn't clean. It was an extermination. Bloodied and spooked, they broke into another building down the block, barricading the door against the dark. I'm perched on a gargoyle overlooking their new hideout. The streets below are quiet again, but I can hear skittering in the distance. The dancers weren't alone.